At the beginning of the film, we see Elvira, her mother, and her sister leaving their home to move to another kingdom. Elvira is very excited because she loves the poetry written by the prince of that kingdom, and she dreams of marrying him. Soon, they arrive in the new kingdom and meet an old man. Elvira's mother is about to marry him. The old man has a daughter named Agnes, who is much more beautiful than both Elvira and her sister. Everyone appears happy about the marriage, but the happiness doesn't last long. Just 2 days later, Agnes's father suffers a heart attack and passes away. As the news spreads, many people who had lent him money arrive at the house. When they learn that he had recently married Elvira's mother, they threaten her, demanding the money back quickly. If she fails to pay, they'll take the house and all the land. The truth is, Elvira's mother had no money either. She had married the man only for his status and riches, not knowing that he was bankrupt. She pleads with the creditors for a few months' time and falls into deep shock after they leave. She realizes she's been badly deceived. Her age has advanced, and her beauty isn't what it used to be. She knows she can no longer attract a wealthy man for marriage. Her savings are almost gone. Elvira feels sorry for her mother and promises her, "Don't worry, I will marry Prince Julian and fix everything." Her mother stares at her. Elvira wasn't particularly beautiful, and most people didn't even notice her. For a prince to fall for her seemed like a miracle. Her younger sister was quite charming too, but still underage, so the only option her mother had was to marry off Elvira. Meanwhile, Agnes is also struggling. She has no mother, and now her father has died. Sitting beside her father's body, she prays to her late mother to make things right. A few days pass. A royal messenger arrives with an announcement from the king. Prince Julian is of age to marry. A grand ceremony will be held 4 months from now, and unmarried girls from across the kingdom are invited. The prince will choose his future wife from among them. Every girl who wants to participate must register her name with the royal messenger. It's like a competition, and they only have 4 months to prepare. Elvira, who has always dreamed of marrying the prince, signs up. So does Agnes. But the problem is clear. Why would a prince choose an ordinary-looking girl like Elvira? Her mother is determined to make her perfect and takes her to a plastic surgeon. She wants Elvira to undergo surgery to become beautiful. Although she doesn't have enough money, she promises the surgeon that she'll pay right after the ceremony. The surgeon explains he will operate on Elvira's eyes, nose, teeth, and even her breasts. The process is horrific. In one disturbing scene, he climbs onto her and painfully pulls out her breasts using a massive tool. Elvira screams in agony. Before she can even recover, she's taken in for the next session. Her nose is sliced down the middle, the bone is trimmed, the sides are made thinner, and a strange metal mask is attached to help it heal in shape. The pain is unbearable, but Elvira endures it all for the sake of beauty. Not only beauty, but she also needs royal training. So she is taken to a school that teaches manners and ballroom dancing. Agnes is already there. Miss Sophia arrives and introduces herself. She and her team will teach the girls how to walk, talk, sit, and dance like royalty. But not all girls will make it to the final ceremony. Only 16 will be selected. Training begins immediately. Days go by. Miss Sophia notices that Agnes is ahead of everyone in every way. She's naturally graceful, already knows many of the manners, dances beautifully, and is stunning. So she is moved to the front row, while Elvira is pushed to the back where less attractive girls are placed. Back home, Agnes asks Alvira's mother if they can finally bury her father's body as it's starting to decay. But Alvira's mother coldly replies, "I don't have money for his funeral. I'd rather spend it on my daughter. His funeral will happen only if Alvira gets selected." Elvira overhears this and realizes just how much pressure her mother has placed on her. So she works even harder. Slowly, she moves up from the back rows. Finally, the 40-day training ends. Today, Miss Sophia announces the names of the 16 selected girls. Alvera is shocked to see Agnes's name at the top and hers at the very bottom. Everyone is surprised she even made the list, especially with the bandage still on her nose, which ruins her appearance. The next stage of training begins. During the etiquette lessons, Alvera struggles. Agnes, however, performs flawlessly, pushing Alvera further behind. Alvera feels Miss Sophia is being harsh on her. Eventually, Miss Sophia tells her the painful truth. She didn't make the list on her own merit. Her mother had paid for her selection. Hearing this, Alvira is heartbroken. She feels like there's nothing special in her to make anyone like her. Back home, Alvira's mother invites a famous designer to make a dress for her. But the designer notes that Alvira is overweight because she eats too much. He tells her mother that Alvira needs to slim down to wear beautiful gowns. So her mother puts her on a strict diet, only lemon water. The next day, Miss Sophia starts interviewing each of the 16 girls to learn about their inner beauty. Agnes again takes the top spot. When she meets Alvira and listens to her, she realizes how much Alvira has suffered to fit into society. Despite being ridiculed constantly, she stands with courage and determination. Miss Sophia begins to feel pity for her. Wanting to help, she gives Alvira a secret item that will help her lose weight. Later, she shows it to her sister. It's a tapeworm egg. She explains Miss Sophia told her if she eats this, it will live inside her and consume whatever she eats, so she'll keep losing weight. Once she marries Prince Julian, she'll take the antidote to kill the worm. Alvira believes it blindly, unaware of the harm it could cause. Her sister is concerned and warns her not to eat it. But Alvira is so obsessed with marrying the prince that she swallows the egg without hesitation. Just then, Prince Julian arrives nearby with his friends for hunting. Alvira once again gets lost in her fantasy of marrying him. On their way home, Alvira notices Agnes secretly with one of their servants. Furious, she runs home and tells her mother. But instead of supporting her, she gets angry, punishes her harshly, and does something even worse. She makes Agnes a servant in her own home and confines her indoors. Despite everything, Alvira is still hopeful. Alvira's biggest competitor, her greatest enemy, was none other than her own sister, Agnes. Now that she had already consumed the tapeworm egg, Alvira had no worries about dieting. She secretly ate a lot of food, and Agnes was the one bringing it to her. Deep down, Agnes didn't want Alvira to lose weight. 3 months passed. Finally, the metal mask on Alvira's nose was removed, revealing a perfectly shaped nose. The surgery had been successful, and she looked far more beautiful than before. Alvira excitedly prepared for the grand ceremony, while Agnes was treated like a servant at home. She even milked the cow herself. Seeing her in this state gave Alvira a sense of inner satisfaction. After the nose surgery, Alvira's mother took her to the plastic surgeon again. This time, Alvira underwent another painful procedure. The doctor inserted artificial lashes into her eyelids using threads and needles. Her eyes had to be bandaged for days, and she looked terrible. Then came the breast surgery. After all these torturous procedures, Elvira became extremely weak. She felt constantly hungry and begged Agnes for more food. Agnes, despite her mother's orders, kept feeding her. At the school, Miss Sophia and her team were worried. Agnes, who was supposed to represent the group, had stopped participating. When they asked Elvira's mother about it, she lied, saying Agnes was grieving over her father's death and had withdrawn from everything. Believing this, Miss Sophia replaced Agnes with Elvira, who by now looked just as beautiful due to all the surgeries. One night, Agnes sneaked in food for Elvira and began combing her hair. As she brushed, clumps of Elvira's hair began to fall out. Elvira panicked. The tapeworm inside her was not only helping her lose weight, but also absorbing all her nutrients, damaging her from within. When Elvira's mother found out that her daughter had been chosen to open the royal ball, taking Agnes's spot, she had a magnificent new dress made for her, even better than the first. Just then, Agnes arrived. Everyone around her treated her cruelly, burning with jealousy over her natural beauty. While dressing Elvira, the designer noticed her hair loss and made a wig for her to hide it. Meanwhile, Agnes decided she would still go to the ball. She secretly took out her mother's royal gown, a stunning and expensive dress. Her mother had once been the most beautiful and wealthy woman in the kingdom. When Elvira saw Agnes wearing the gown, she was consumed with jealousy. In a rage, she tore the gown apart. Agnes broke down completely. Clutching the ripped gown, she cried beside her father's decaying body. She had no hope left of escaping this cruel life. Suddenly, a magical light appeared. The spirit of Agnes's real mother arrived, moved by her daughter's suffering. She gifted Agnes a pair of enchanted shoes and explained the conditions, just like Cinderella's story. When she wears the shoes, a pumpkin will turn into a carriage to take her to the palace, but she must return before midnight, as everything would revert to its true form. There was one twist. Agnes had to keep her face hidden. Excited, Agnes put on the shoes. Amazingly, the bugs crawling on her father's body began weaving the torn gown back together, making it even more beautiful than before. The night everyone had been waiting for arrived. Elvira opened the ball with her dance. Everyone admired her beauty, unaware it was all artificial. When Prince Julian entered the ballroom, he chose Elvira as his partner and began to dance with her. Elvira's mother was thrilled, receiving praise from the kingdom's elite. Everything was going perfectly, just as Elvira had imagined. But it didn't last. A mysterious girl in a blue gown and mask entered the ballroom. There was a magical aura around her. Everyone was drawn to her, including the prince, who left Elvira to dance with the newcomer. When Prince Julian leaned closer during the dance, the girl's mask slipped off. It was Agnes. Elvira recognized her instantly. Fearing Elvira's reaction, Agnes ran out of the ballroom. The prince chased her, but she kept running. Just like in the fairy tale, one of her enchanted shoes slipped off on the stairs. The prince picked it up and returned to the palace, declaring that he would make every girl in the kingdom try it on. The one whose foot it fits will become the new princess. Elvira returned home in fury. She knew it was Agnes, and the other shoe must be with her. Without a word, she attacked Agnes, beat her, and snatched the shoe. Determined to make it fit, Elvira tried it on, but it was too small. No matter how hard she tried, it wouldn't fit. The shoe was magical, designed only for Agnes by her mother's spirit. Blinded by obsession, Elvira decided to cut her foot to make it fit. She grabbed a knife and sliced off her toes. Blood poured everywhere. The pain was unbearable, and she collapsed unconscious. Her mother and sister rushed in. Seeing her in this state, Agnes was devastated. She told her mother that Elvira had cut off the wrong foot.
The prince had the shoe for the other foot, but her greedy mother, without hesitation, decided to cut the other foot too. She took the same knife and sliced off Elvira's remaining toes while she lay unconscious. Agnes was in shock. She couldn't believe her own mother could go this far for money. She now understood her mother was insane and dangerous. 2 days passed. Elvira lay in pain. She woke up to an announcement. The prince was coming to their home to test the shoe. Barely able to move, she forced herself out of bed. She couldn't stand. She crawled across the floor, dragging her body toward the stairs. But when she tried to descend, she tumbled down and hit the floor hard. Lying face down, she saw Agnes standing in that same gown, the one Elvira had torn apart, now more beautiful than ever. Prince Julian arrived and asked everyone to try on the shoe. When Agnes put it on, it fit perfectly. The prince instantly realized she was the girl from the ball and chose her to be his wife. As he took Agnes away, Elvira broke down, crying uncontrollably. She had suffered so much, endured so many surgeries, and still failed to win the prince's heart. Seeing her sister in such despair, Agnes felt pity. She quickly gave Elvira the antidote Miss Sophia had given her. After drinking it, Elvira began to vomit. The tapeworm came out, and Agnes pulled it out completely. Elvira slowly began to feel a little better. Then Agnes dressed her sister in warm clothes and told her that they had to leave. Her mother was too dangerous and greedy. The two sisters escaped from the palace to start a new life, free from lies, pain, and their mother's control. As they walk away from the palace, the story comes to a close.